You didn't do anything wrong, man. I just want you. You're not worried about. You're not in any
Trust
trouble.
me, I already know what y'all here for, here by. Trust me, I already know. Yeah, my nigga dead and gone. I already know I'm finna break it down to y'all, because this why I'm gonna tell y'all, like, y'all probably think I'm crazy. We had a studio before we go to New Era Studio. Juvie had to go back inside and shit, get some weapons and shit, whatever.
Did YNW Melly really take out his own homie because things between them got weird? This story's wild from the start, and we're diving deep into some of the most shocking leaked footage the rap game's ever seen. Right after YNW Melly allegedly took out his boys Sack Chaser and Juvie, the cops pulled in Melly's friend Jacoby Mills for questioning, and what went down next was insane. Nobody even knows exactly why Jacoby got arrested in the first place, but once the cops had him in that room, he turned on Melly real quick. Before they could even start asking him anything, Jacoby jumped right in saying he already knew why he was there, because his friends Sack Chaser and Juvie were gone for good. That hit hard, and you could tell this wasn't just street talk, it was personal. Sack Chaser and Juvie were the two homies Melly allegedly shot and killed, and Jacoby had tight ties with both. When the cops asked who he was closest to, Jacoby said he grew up with them equally. Same schools, same blocks, same grind. You could feel the pain behind every word. Then the detectives asked Jacoby to walk them through the night it all went down. The night Juvie and Sack got hit. Jacoby said he was ready to tell them everything, but warned them straight up. They were gonna think he sounded crazy once they heard his side of the story. That night when Melly allegedly took out his own crew, they were all vibing together in the studio. There's even security footage showing Melly hopping into the ride with Sack Chaser, Juvie, and Jacoby Mills right there too. The whole scene looked chill at first, but what happened next flipped everything upside down. Jacoby later told investigators that this wasn't even the first studio they'd been to that night. At the start, it was just him, Melly, YN Bortlen, and their homie Adrian Davis, better known as D.
So I tried to go get in that car, but when I tried to grab the door, I got pushed back to the red car, but nobody was there.
Who pushed you back to the red car?
Nobody. This God. I'm letting you know now, this is God. I did it the second time to make sure I wasn't tripping. So I tried to do it again. That bitch put me back over there to the red.
They laid down some tracks, wrapped up the session, and then decided to swing back home to scoop up Sack Chaser and Juvie for another round. Things were moving smooth until they weren't. When they hit the second studio, Jacoby said Juvie went inside to grab some weapons, like he was gearing up for something serious. Then Jacoby tried to hop in the same whip Melly, Juvie, Sack Chaser, and Bortlen were getting ready to leave in. But he claimed something powerful stopped him cold. He said it felt like God himself pushed him back from that car. A few hours later, tragedy struck. Juvie and Sack Chaser were found shot inside that same whip. The mystery around where those shots came from became one of the biggest questions in Melly's first murder trial. Investigators claim the bullets came from the back seat, and Jacoby backed that up, saying that's exactly where Melly was sitting when they all rolled out of the studio that night. That detail changed everything. Another huge focus in court was why Melly would allegedly turn on his own people. His defense team tried to paint a picture that everything between them was cool, no tension, no drama. But Jacoby told a whole different story. He said something about that night felt off, that everyone was acting strange in the studio, like bad energy was floating in the air. Jacoby mentioned there wasn't any straight-up fight, but things definitely got heated. At one point, Sack Chaser slapped Bortlen and D for nodding off in the middle of the session. Sack Chaser already had a rep for getting physical, and Jacoby told the cops straight up that Sack was a wild dude who didn't back down from nobody.
I get one call, get a phone call, boom, my mama calls. It's like, mine is like four something by now. Mama called again, I ain't answered, but my sister called right after my mama called. I answered, I was like, what's up? And I was like, matter of fact, never mind, let me just call my mama. Hung up on her, called my mama back. She was like, hello? She was breathing hard. She was like, somebody said y'all all dead. Somebody called and said y'all all dead.
According to Jacoby, Sack Chaser had this crazy kind of control over the whole crew. Like everyone moved how he said to move. Whatever Sack wanted, they did it. No questions asked. It was like he ran the squad and nobody dared to cross him. That night in the studio, Melly was struggling to stay awake, nodding off in the corner when Sack Chaser called it out. He told everyone they might as well pack it up and head home since nobody was putting in work. So they all dipped, and that ended up being the last time Jacoby ever saw Sack Chaser and Juvie alive. Things were about to take a dark turn nobody could have predicted. Both cars rolled out toward the spot where the YNW crew was staying. Jacoby said he was in a separate ride right behind the car with Melly, Sack Chaser, Juvie, and Bortlen inside. Melly told him that Tay was behind the wheel of Jacoby's car, leading the way for now. As they got on the interstate, something strange happened. Tay suddenly sped up, passed Melly's whip, and started leading the pack instead of following. Jacoby said he had no clue why Tay switched positions like that, and even their boy AD started arguing with him, saying they should be following Melly, not cruising ahead. The whole vibe felt off. But Tay didn't stop. He kept driving all the way back to the crib. When they pulled up, Jacoby noticed something that sent chills through him. Melly's car never showed up. Jacoby started getting a bad feeling in his gut when Melly's car still hadn't pulled up. He and the rest of the crew sat outside the crib for almost half an hour, waiting and wondering what was taking so long. Every minute that passed made the silence feel heavier. Eventually, they decided to head inside and crash for the night. But what happened next made the whole thing look real suspicious. At first, Jacoby tried to stay awake, thinking maybe Melly and the others just made a quick stop for some blunts or hit that McDonald's down the road for food. But exhaustion caught up with him and he finally knocked out. Then suddenly his phone started buzzing nonstop. His mom was calling over and over. He ignored it at first, half asleep and confused.
Then I actually got looking at my phone. I see one missed call from Melly. But mind you, my mama called me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna see if you call me, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? He called and he ain't gonna let bitch up, you feel me? He ain't actually called and feel me, actually called all the way through. He just called and hung that bitch up.
But when his sister called right after, Jacoby knew something was seriously wrong. He called his mom back, and what she said made his blood run cold. She told him there were rumors flying around that Jacoby and everyone he was with had been killed. He jumped straight out of bed and ran through the house, checking every room one by one. He was calling out for Sack Chaser, Juvie, Melly, and Bortlen, but nobody was there. The house was way too quiet. Then Jacoby noticed something strange. His phone showed a missed call from Melly, but Jacoby told cops that Melly didn't really let it ring, like he only called just long enough for it to show up on the call log. He believed Melly did that on purpose, just to make it look like he tried reaching out after everything went down. So Jacoby decided to call Melly back on FaceTime, and what he saw on that screen was wild. Melly was just staring at him, stone-faced, trying to look angry, like he was the one who'd been wrong. He started pressing Jacoby hard, saying stuff like Jacoby had left him behind, but none of it added up. Jacoby could tell something about Melly's story didn't make sense at all.
Goddamn, call Melly back. Call Melly. I say, Melly answer the phone. We on FaceTime. He just holding the phone, looking mad. Like he just like you basically saying like y'all niggas left us. Like y'all niggas ain't answering no phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all niggas left us. Like I'm like, nigga, what you talking about? I'm like, man, what the fuck going on? Stop playing me. Like
By that time, Melly was already over at Fredo Bang's spot and told Jacoby to slide through. Jacoby had no idea what kind of situation he was walking into, but just in case, he grabbed the Draco before heading out. You could tell the tension was heavy, like things were about to spiral out of control. When Jacoby finally pulled up to Fredo's crib, Fredo handed him a perk, and Jacoby said he took it. But right after, he started feeling off, like his head wasn't straight anymore. Everything around him started to blur, and he knew something about that night was way deeper than he first thought. Even after everything that went down, Jacoby still wanted answers. When he walked into Fredo's crib, he instantly noticed something strange. Melly wasn't wearing the same outfit he'd had on at the studio earlier that night. That detail hit Jacoby hard, and when the cops later asked him what he thought really happened, Jacoby told them straight up, "Same thing y'all think." That response said everything. But the real shock came next. Jacoby dropped a bomb that left everyone speechless. He claimed that Sack Chaser, who was 27 at the time he died, had been messing around with someone underage. Jacoby said because of that, it felt like Sack's death was karma catching up to him. Still, he made it clear that Juvie didn't deserve to go out like that. Jacoby spoke highly of Juvie, saying he was one of the kindest, most genuine people anyone could meet. He even called him the light, like Juvie was the good soul in the middle of all the chaos. You could feel how much that loss hurt him. Even with all that emotion, Jacoby wasn't done. He wanted to uncover what really happened that night and made it known that once he saw Bortlen again, he was ready to confront him face to face. He said he was planning to put hands on Bortlen the moment they crossed paths.
I'm gonna tell you straight up, to me, Cortland a bitch. Cortland ain't living like that. That's my blood cousin. Cortland is my blood cousin. Auntie Fina, all that, yo, blood cousin, like, Bortlen not living like that.
Jacoby had been wanting to confront Melly from the start, but things were tricky. He knew Melly rolled deep with people tied to Fredo's crew, and sparking drama there could have gone bad fast. Still, Jacoby couldn't hold it in anymore. When he pulled up to Fredo's crib, he asked Melly straight up what was really going on. That's when Melly started fake crying, and Jacoby instantly felt something was off. Jacoby said he knew Melly too well. If some ops had really taken out Sack Chaser and Juvie, Melly wouldn't have been sitting around crying at Fredo's house. He would have been in the whip, ready to slide back for revenge. That reaction didn't match the story at all, and it made everything seem way more suspicious. During Melly's first murder trial, when the topic of motive came up, detectives pressed Jacoby hard. They wanted to know why Melly would have pulled the trigger on his own crew. That's when Jacoby revealed something that left the courtroom silent. He said that during their FaceTime call, Melly kept saying, "You don't know what Sack's been doing to me." Jacoby told them Melly wouldn't explain what he meant, no matter how many times he asked. Then the cops took it a step further. They asked Jacoby if he thought Sack Chaser might have been being inappropriate with Melly. Jacoby didn't have a solid answer, but that question changed the whole direction of the investigation. Jacoby told the cops he really didn't know the full truth, but he did point out one thing. Sack Chaser was way bigger and stronger than Melly. There was no chance Melly could have gone one-on-one with him in a straight fight, not even close.
Did Juvie's thumb get shot off?
I don't know.
If his thumb got shot off, they say Juvie was wrestling with whoever shot Sack first. Say Juvie tried to grab the gun, y'all tripping. And then they shot his thumb off. And when Juvie fell back, like when you get shot, you're gonna be like, And that's when they just shot his whole side.
That made the idea of Melly being the shooter even more chilling, because it meant he might have felt that was the only way to stand up to him. Then the detective switched gears and asked if Jacoby thought Bortlen could have been the one to pull the trigger on Sack and Juvie. But Jacoby shut that down quick. He said Bortlen wasn't built like that. He reminded them of a time Sack Chaser actually beat Bortlen so bad that he made him cry. That story showed just how much control Sack had over everyone, even the ones who acted tough. Jacoby said Sack used to mess with Melly constantly, pushing his buttons, clowning him, testing his pride. It got so bad that Jacoby said he could actually see why Melly might have wanted him gone. One time, Sack even handed Melly a Draco and told him straight up, "If you want me gone, do it right now." That's how wild things got between them. And according to Jacoby, this kind of energy wasn't rare. It was happening all the time. But there was even more drama behind the scenes. Jacoby told cops another reason Melly might have wanted Sack gone was because of some serious beef Sack had with Melly's mom and his first manager. The whole situation was messy, especially since that same manager was hooking up with Melly's mom. Sack warned them that if they ever tried to sign him out or cut him off, he'd take them all out. It was pure chaos inside the YNW circle. The cops said they could understand why Melly might have wanted to take out Sack Chaser after hearing everything Jacoby shared. But what they couldn't wrap their heads around was why Juvie got caught up too.
Who did you hear from on the street that there was a fight inside the car and that's how his thumb got shot up?
Damn, who the fuck did I hear that from? I heard that from...
We'll never say it came from you, trust me.
I already know. I forgot who I heard it from because there was a lot of people just coming back to me with so much information.
That's when Jacoby dropped another bombshell that made the whole case even darker. He told them Juvie was killed because he knew too much. He would have told people what Melly did to Sack Chaser. What makes Juvie's death even more heartbreaking is that he wasn't even trying to stay in the rap game anymore. Just a few days before everything went down, Juvie told Jacoby that he was ready to leave music behind. He said the whole industry felt fake, weird, and full of snakes. That made it clear he was looking for a way out before the streets took him down. Jacoby said he didn't think Juvie would have gone to the police. He wasn't built like that, but he would have let the streets know the truth about what happened. And that's exactly why Jacoby believed he got killed too, to keep him quiet. The betrayal in that circle ran deep. Then, years later, after Melly got booked for allegedly killing Sack Chaser and Juvie, some chilling new details came out. Investigators discovered that Juvie's thumb had been shot before he died, a detail that hadn't even been made public yet. What's wild is that Jacoby had mentioned that exact same detail way back in 2019 during his first interrogation, before Melly was ever arrested. Nobody knows how he already knew that, but it made the story even harder to ignore. Jacoby seemed to know way more about the case than anyone expected. He was dropping details that even the cops didn't fully have yet. That's what made everything he told them sound so real, like he'd actually been closer to the truth than anyone else. Investigators tried to figure out who might have told Jacoby about Juvie's thumb being shot, but he swore he couldn't remember where that info came from. Still, it lined up too perfectly with what they later confirmed.
I'm gonna tell you straight up, like, I found the 40 That bitch had blood all over it. It had a cover wrapped around it with blood all over it.
What's even crazier is that the police never found the actual guns used in the murders of Sack Chaser and Juvie. But Jacoby had something wild to say about that too. He said that the very next morning after the killings, he went riding out with Melly, Melly's manager Track, and Bortlen. Apparently, Melly and Bortlen had tossed their guns somewhere out in the woods after the shooting, and they were trying to go back and recover them before anyone else found out. Now, Jacoby said he didn't really understand what was happening at first. He just knew the vibe was tense and everyone was on edge. Then out of nowhere, he's the one who actually spotted a .40 caliber pistol with blood all over it. That detail hit hard because, at that time, the public didn't even know what kind of weapon was used. But later, it came out that both Sack Chaser and Juvie had been killed with a .40 caliber gun. The fact that Jacoby had described that exact weapon, covered in blood, made his story sound terrifyingly real. They also tried to find a Tech 9 that Melly and Bortlen had tossed, but no one could track it down in the brush. Jacoby admitted he wanted to keep the .40 he found, maybe out of shock, maybe as proof. But before he could, Track, Melly's manager, stepped in and told him, "Don't worry about it, I'll handle that." After that, the gun vanished, and nobody's seen it since. Jacoby said Melly, Bortlen, and Track didn't even care about finding the Tech 9. They were cool leaving that behind.
I tried to keep the 40, bring that bitch down this way. I tried to keep that bitch, but
Who took it?
They manager. I don't know the nigga like that though,
Yeah.
but the manager like, nah, I'm gonna keep it, I'm gonna get it right. I'm like, nigga, there ain't nothing wrong with it, bitch. Clean the blood off, feel me? Keep it like a regular pistol. So they're like, nah, I'm gonna get rid of it.
What they really wanted back was the .40 caliber, and that makes total sense since that was the actual murder weapon used on Sack Chaser and Juvie. The Tech 9 wasn't connected to the shooting, but that .40 was the piece that could tie everything together. For a while, rumors were flying around the streets saying Sack Chaser had pulled a gun on Melly first, and that's why Melly shot him. But Jacoby shut that down completely. He told the cops that neither Sack Chaser nor Juvie even carried guns like that. In fact, they used to clown other dudes who walked around strapped all the time. That detail flipped the story upside down because it made the self-defense talk sound weak. In the security footage from that night at the studio, you can see Melly with a bag on him, and Jacoby confirmed what was inside. It wasn't just gear, it was a gun. He said Melly always kept a strap close, no matter where he went. Then Jacoby hit the cops with another chilling detail. Later on, when he saw Melly again, that same bag he'd been carrying had blood all over it. That image stuck with Jacoby because it made him realize this wasn't just a rumor or a street story anymore, it was real, and someone had really lost their life that night. Melly and Bortlen were both moving real sloppy, according to Jacoby. He said they'd straight up forget their guns and leave them behind in Airbnbs like it was nothing. That kind of carelessness showed how reckless things had gotten after the murders. Jacoby also admitted he was scared to talk to the cops at first. He wasn't just worried about himself, he was scared for his family. He told investigators that Melly had money and connections, and if he found out Jacoby was talking, he could have Jacoby's people hurt or even worse.
Did they always have guns with them?
Thomas Lynn, hell no.
Sack and Juvie.
No,
Hey,
them niggas the niggas that's gonna tell you to put them bitches down.
Okay.
Stop messing with them bitches. Them the ones that's gonna tell you, but you don't need no gun, bro. If you got a ride with a gun, you pussy. You know what I'm saying? They the ones gonna tell you you don't need no gun. Put that shit down.
That kind of fear shows how deep things were running in the YNW circle. But what's even wilder is what Jacoby said next. He claimed that Melly and his crew were actually planning to go after Sack Chaser's family too. That took everything to a whole new level. And it wasn't just Jacoby saying Sack's people were in danger. Even Sack himself knew something was up. Just a few days before he was killed, he told his mom she needed to move out because it wasn't safe for her anymore. He was supposed to be getting $200,000 from a deal he made with Melly, but that money never came through. Instead, his life got caught up in something way darker than a business dispute. Sack Chaser had already told his mom he wasn't going to be getting that $200,000 after all. And soon after, everything spiraled out of control. Jacoby told the cops that right after Juvie and Sack were killed, Melly and Bortlen ditched their phones completely to avoid being tracked. The investigators then asked Jacoby if he could give them Bortlen's new number, but he didn't know it off the top of his head, so they told him to call his mom and check her phone to find it. But Jacoby was terrified. He said straight up, he was scared Melly and Bortlen might actually hurt his family if they found out he was talking. They knew where he lived, and with all the tension surrounding the murders, that fear felt real.
when he left the studio, he walked out of the studio at 3:20
Oh, was the gun in there that night?
Yeah.
Still, Jacoby revealed that Melly and Bortlen weren't safe either. Both Sack Chasers and Juvie's families believed they were behind the killings, and Jacoby warned the cops that someone from the streets might get to Melly and Bortlen before the law ever did. Jacoby kept giving up more and more details to investigators, but then, in November 2025, another bombshell dropped that shook the whole case again. Melly had told police that it was Melly who was driving the whip Jacoby was riding in on the night Sack and Juvie were killed. That piece of info came back around in the most unexpected way. The very next day after the murders, Sack Chaser's family secretly recorded a conversation with Tay, and when that audio finally leaked, it blew up online. In the recording, Tay was caught lying to detectives, claiming that Melly wasn't in the car and that Sack and Juvie were the only ones in the whip, but Sack's family knew that was cap, and they called Tay out instantly.
They probably carried a lot of guns now, though, but
Back then they didn't.
nah, them just ain't carried no guns. Nah, yeah, they did, but they be losing this shit. You feel me? At R&B, you know them shit, little hotel shit y'all got down there.
They just leave them around?
Leave them. Then we leave the hotel, them bitches lost. They lost the bitch down. That bitch might still be there. You feel me?
That recording turned into one of the biggest turning points in the whole case, proving that people were hiding way more than they wanted to admit. Tay later admitted that he only went along with the story Melly and Melly's mom had already planned to tell the cops. That revelation changed everything. It meant the cover-up wasn't just a rumor. It was a full-on setup that went all the way to the top of Melly's circle. Melly's mom, Jamie, was allegedly involved in helping her son hide the truth. Word on the streets was that she'd been pulling strings behind the scenes, trying to protect Melly no matter what. Some even believed she wanted Sack Chaser gone and that she'd pushed Melly to make it happen. Sack Chaser's family caught on quick. They knew something wasn't right with Jamie's involvement. One of them even told Tay straight up that she'd been planning this for a long time, like everything had been in motion way before the murders even happened. They also warned Tay to watch his back. Sack's family told him that if Melly and Jamie ever thought he might turn against them, he could end up just like Sack and Juvie.
When he first got out of jail, like I said, I don't know. I mean, I don't be trying to cause them boys got money on, they know where I stay at too, type shit, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So I ain't trying to put my people in no danger, you feel me? But
Do you think they would hurt your family?
yeah, you damn right.
It was a cold reminder that in this situation, nobody was really safe. The biggest motive behind Melly allegedly pulling the trigger on Sack Chaser came down to one thing: money. According to insiders, Sack Chaser wasn't just part of the crew. He was supposedly the CEO of YNW, which meant he was lined up to get half of everything Melly earned from his rap career. That alone could have sparked major tension, and people close to the situation said the money drama had been boiling for a while. Sack's family even claimed that Melly's mom played a part in snaking Sack over a record label deal that went bad. It's no secret that greed and ego can turn friends into enemies, and this case might be the perfect example of that. Still, just because Melly had plenty of reasons to want Sack gone doesn't mean the jury's gonna convict him. His first trial already showed how divided things were. The jury couldn't even agree on whether he was guilty or not. Now everyone's wondering if the second trial will go down any different or if history's about to repeat itself.
They're finna kill Sack family. Till Sack told them to move. Now they don't know where he stay at. Know where they stay at.
But the wait for answers isn't short. It's gonna be a minute before Melly's back in court again. His next trial isn't scheduled until 2027. That's a long time for the world to keep speculating about what really happened that night. Meanwhile, Bortlen's path took a completely different turn. He was supposed to stand trial in October 2025, but right before it kicked off, he shocked everyone by taking a plea deal. Instead of facing a potential life sentence for murder, he pled no contest to several lesser charges: accessory after the fact, witness tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. It was a major move that raised even more questions about what he really knew and what he might have told prosecutors behind closed doors. Bortlen's no contest plea didn't mean he admitted guilt. It just meant he wasn't fighting the charges. But even without admitting anything, the court still hit him with a heavy sentence: 10 years behind bars and 6 more on probation. That's a serious hit, especially after everything that went down with the case. Meanwhile, Melly's gearing up for his new trial, and things around him keep getting messier by the day. In 2025, he fired his whole defense team and brought in a celebrity lawyer, Drew Findling, to take over. That move had the internet buzzing, especially since his first attorney, Raven Liberty, got caught up in her own drama. She's now under investigation for witness tampering. Talk about chaos. The case has dragged on for years and new evidence keeps surfacing, none of it looking good for Melly. But here's the twist. Both Jacoby's police interrogation and Tay's secretly recorded conversation with Sack Chaser's family might not even be allowed in court. That could change everything for Melly's defense team, even though the overall situation is still stacked against him. With so many lies, secrets, and power moves, this case has become one of the wildest stories in rap history. And it's still not over. No one really knows what's coming next for Melly. But whatever happens, it's gonna shake the game again. If you made it this far, drop a like, hit that subscribe button, share this video, and let me know in the comments what you think's really going on with YNW Melly.